Namaste to all. Yesterday I made a video about death from Yajurveda's last chapter. Very beautiful, knowledge given by Almighty God on death and what you should do at the time of death. And today I was going through the Vyas Bhashya of Patanjali Yoga Sutra 2 by 9 Sutra, which speaks about the klesh called as Abhinivesha, means fear of death. The sutra is Swarasavahi Vidusho api tatarudo Abhinivesha. अभिनिवेश we can say that चारों ओर से प्रवेश किया हुआ है, आरूढ़ हुआ है, आरूढ़ अभिनिवेश. That means there is the fear of death which has permeated or which has entered inside of us, our mind and our chit. It has entered inside our chit from all the directions, and all of us, all the human beings and also other insects or animals, all the prani, they have the fear of death. Even a newborn krimi, even a small insect which is born now, just now, it has the fear of death inside it. That is called as Tatarudo Abhinivesha. And this Abhinivesha is Swarasavahi Vidusho. Swarasavahi Vidusho Api. So I'll explain to you this sutra, what Vyas Muni says. In fact, my Acharya has beautifully written this sutra in Hindi. And whenever I read my Acharya's Yoga Darshanam, I always feel that, oh, my Acharya has written this sutra, but only why he completed this sutra. Because my Acharya has written in so depth. He has written few words, but he has written so beautifully that I always want that, okay, this sutra should not end. The commentary of my Acharya should not end. It is so beautiful to listen, from the listen and also read when some Acharya writes. So here also Vyas Muni has written only 4-5 lines, but see the depth of Vyas Muni also. Vyas Muni says, Sarvasya pranina iyam atmashir nitya bhavati manabhuvam bhuyasam iti. Sarvasya pranina, all the human beings, all the animals and insects, etc., Sarvasya pranina, they have a icha, they have a desire inside them that there shall not be a time that should come in a future where I shall not exist. Sorry, my background is little noisy. So there must not be a time in the future where I shall not exist. Mana bhuvam bhuyasam iti. Let me continue to exist to eternity. That every one of us has this desire that we must continue to exist until eternity. In fact, some people might argue that no, it's not like that. Many people, they do suicide every day. Like, if you go to Japan, I often travel to Japan, I see Japan trains, whenever they run late, it is only due to one reason, that somebody has fallen on the railway track and then suicide. So there are many people who does suicide, not only in Japan, in other areas of the world. So they do not tally with the statements one can say. But actually they also tally with the statement, the reason for the suicide, if you remove it, like somebody is suiciding because of loneliness, somebody is suiciding because of no money, like he has taken so much of loans from everyone, from 20 people he has taken money and he is unable to return, and whenever they come home, he says one or other reason, and he will say that, okay, I'll give you next Friday, I'll give you next month, and the next Friday, next month comes, then also he does not have money, so he decides to suicide. If we remove the reason of that suicide, that if you say like, okay, I am going to give you 10 lakh, finish all your loans, that guy will not desire to suicide. He will never desire to suicide. That is what Vyas Muni says. Mana bhuvam. Let there not be a time in the future that should come that I shall not exist at that time. That means I have the desire that I should exist for eternity. So this is the first statement of this explanation of this sutra by Vyas Muni. And further he says, Nacha ana anubhuta marana dharmakasya esha bhavatyata mashihi. See, this desire cannot come to a person or come to a prani. This desire is there that I shall continue to exist forever. This cannot come to us without our previous experience of death. Because we have experienced death in the previous janma, although we are not remembering it, but there is a sanskar inside our chit. Because all the experience, the sanskar happens. Sanskar is an impression in the chitta which we are not remembering. But because we have gone through the death cycle in the previous janmas, that is the reason we are having this desire to live forever. We fear death directly, indirectly, even the most uh, wealthiest billionaire, they also have the fear of death. Even the most poorest person will also have fear of death. Only one category of people will not fear death, who have conquered death, who have attained Jivan Mukta. Other than that, the sutra also says Vidusho, even Vidwan. Here, Vidwan does not mean yogis. Vidwan means even the learned scholar of Vedas, but who have not attained Samadhi. Those people also will have fear of death. That is why it is called as Abhinivesha Klesha. It is omnipresent. It is as if that it is omnipresent inside us, the fear of death. So Vyas Muni says, Yetaya cha Purva Janma Anubhavaha Pratiyate. This is proving that the Purva Janma Anubhav is happening to all of us. Because of Purva Janma Anubhava, the previous Janma Anubhav, previous Janma experience, we are having this feeling. So this proves also our Janma Marana cycle. Like, some of the religions, they do not believe in Purva Janma. But this very natural quality inside us proves the previous birth. Yetaya cha Purva Janma Anubhava Pratiyate. And further, Vyas Muni says, Sacha Ayam Abhinivesha Klesha. This is called as, this is a Klesh, Dukh Dene Wala. And Abhinivesh Klesh, all the Kleshas, Avidya, leave the Avidya, Asmita, Rag, Dvesh, Abhinivesh. There are 5 Kleshas. The mother of the Klesha is Avidya. But the sutra, the previous sutra said that Avidya is the mother or the base of all the other Kleshas. Even in this Klesh, even for Abhinivesh, even for the death, the root is Avidya only. What Avidya? Avidya has got 4 main lakshan. The one of the lakshan is Anitya mein Nitya Khyati. Like Anitya ko Nitya Samajana, Nitya ko Anitya Samajana. This is one of the lakshan of Avidya. So because of this Avidya, this Anitya Nitya Khyati, we are having the fear of death, is what Vyas Muni and other acharyas, even my acharya always says, that you think that you are human body and you want your human body to exist for eternity. But yogis know that the body is separate. Yogis know that the chit, mind, body, intellect, everything is non-alive. Jivatma is Ajar, Amar, Avinashi, Chetan Tattva, which is ever alive. So the fear of death does not exist for yogis. The fear of death will exist for everybody, and not only human beings. See what Vyas Muni says, very, very interesting observation by Vyas Muni. Vyas Muni says, Swarasavahi. Swarasavahi Krimerapi. Krimi means a small insect. If you take a fly, a small fly has taken birth today, if you go to hit that fly, it will fly away. Similarly, a mosquito or a small insect which has taken birth, which is taking birth in the light, like in the tube light in the rainy season, in the tube light or other lights, there will be a lot of small insects. Even they also, they are called as Swarasavahi. Swabha, they don't act with Naimit Karanam. Human body, human being does not come under Swarasavahi. Human being comes under Naimitika. We don't have natural instincts like those insects. If you remove those insects and keep anywhere outside from their parents, they will still survive. But human beings cannot survive. Human beings are Naimit Prani. We learn by our experience. But these Prani, they are naturally, they have a very instinctive behavior. And they are so naturally instant behavior, I would say. Like, when you go to hit, they know that somebody is coming to kill me and they will fly away immediately. The moment it take birth, Jataya Matrasya, Krimirapi Jataya Matrasya. So Vyas Muni says, even for that krimi which is taking birth, this is a Jivatma. It has gone through the previous, that Jivatma has the chit, the sanskar inside that is, that instinct of death, a fear of death is inside even that krimi. And those krimis do not have pratyaksha, anumana, agama. They have never seen death. They have just taken birth. They have never seen death. And also Anuman means without pratyaksha you cannot have Anuman Gyan also. And also Agama Gyan means Shabda Praman. You cannot teach to an insect that you cannot give any knowledge to them. But even without these 3, they have the Anubhava. They have the experience of they have the fear of death because of the previous experience. So Vyas Muni says, Marana Trasa. So that's why these small krimi animals, a small rabbit is taking birth in the jungle, it will have fear of death immediately. Depending upon certain species, like A small kid is taken birth. Today a child is born. The child will not have fear of death because human body comes under naimitic. A small child will not know anything. Even if you keep that small child in jungle, it will not know that I will be killed. But these insects, they have this, they have this natural instinct that, there is a fear of death. But the human being will learn over a period of time. If you observe a human being between the age of, let's say, from fifth year or sixth year up to the grown up stage, they will slowly learn. They will see, okay, my grandfather has died, my grandfather's brother has died. These kind of things he will observe or she will observe, and slowly they will understand, oh, somebody is dying, so death is something. Everybody is crying. I cannot play with my grandfather, and henceforth my grandfather is gone. Like that, the human being will learn with the experience, with pratyaksha praman, with anuman praman. They will read in the books that somebody died, and shabda praman. But for krimis it's not needed. So that's what here Vyas Muni says, maranatrasa. And this maranatrasa uchcheda drishtai atmakah purva janma. See, uchcheda drishtai atmakah, that means uchcheda means nashta ho jana. Destruction, a fear of destruction exists even for the krimis, which does not have any pratyaksh knowledge, which does not have shabd praman, which does not have anuman praman, etc. So this is because of their purva janma anubhutam marana dukkham anumapayati. So they have died, that jivatma, they were in the previous bodies, and that body at the time of death, they have the dukkha anubhav. They have in their sanskars, they anubhuta, the anubhav of the dukkham. That's why they have the fear of death. This is called as abhinivesha klesha. And this fear of death, he explains, yatacha ayam atyanta mudeshu. Yatacha ayam atyanta mudeshu drishyate. Atyanta mood prani. The most atyanta mood prani is the insects. Now, animals are better than insects because animals have more naimittik gyan. They learn by experience. But insects does not have this. Atyanta mudeshu kleshas tata. This klesh of abhinivesh is seen in the atyanta mood prani as well as vidusho api, as well as vidwan. Vidwan purush, one who is vidwan purush means one who is vijnata purva parantasya rudaha, one who has done gahan adhyan of Vedas. He knows what is birth, he knows what is death, he knows how the birth happens, he knows how the death happens. A Vedic scholar also, atyanta mudeshu api vidusho api. Even the vidwan has the fear of death. The yogi does not have. Kasmat, because Vyas Muni says, kasmat kyun? Samana hi tayoho kushala akushalayo marana dukkha anubhava dhyam vasaneti. This vasana of marana dukkha is there inside the Vedic scholar also, inside the atyanta mood. Atyanta mood means like insects, as I told. So only a yogi is, in fact, the Vyas Muni says kushal akushal. Kushal means those people who are not yogis. Yogis does not come in this description. Yogis are beyond this. Kushal prani means a prani who is a scholar. That scholar also will have the fear of death inside him. Maybe at a little level, but he will have the fear of death because the vasana sanskar, the sanskar has to be burnt by tapasya. Our chittik sanskar will get burnt by tapasya. Unless and otherwise this is burnt, we all of us will be in this klesha. And how do we remove this klesha? By doing tapasya, by doing tapaswadhyaya, ishwar pranidhanani, listening Vedas again and again, by doing everyday tapasya, by realizing Almighty God, this abhinivesh will get completely destroyed. Abhinivesh klesh cannot be destroyed without a realization of Almighty God. Only a sampurna paripurna yogi will not have this klesh, will not have fear of death. Other than a yogi, every one of us, even if you are a Vedic scholar, you will have fear of death. This is a beautiful statement by Vyas Muni. So we must be humble. Like, many people have this little bit of, I have, based on my experience, even I had earlier, but Now probably I do not have, or maybe I have in subtle sense, but I have seen some of the people whom I know in this world of Vedas. They have a little bit of ahankar, that I know Vedas, I know what other people do not know. But why we should have ahankar? Because you also have this klesha. Every one of us have this klesha. So let's not go into ahankar mode. That's why my acharya always says, if you go to a yogi speaks like a small child. He comes to your level and speak, because he's not acting, he's natural, he's so humble. But the person who is not a yogi, he is not humble. He has this ahankar, he has a subtle ego. Some people will have high ego, some people will have very subtle ego. They do not understand who a yogi is. So only yogi escapes this klesha. Other than yogi, every one of us, whoever is watching my channel, will have, you are stuck in this klesha. This is extremely important information written by Vyas Muni. That's why we must try to do tapasya on a daily basis to come out of this abhinivesha klesha. And by slowly doing Veda Adhyayan on a daily basis, being humble, and also by Ishvara Pranidhan, this Marana Bhaya, the fear of death, we can try to slowly overcome over a period of many janmas. And one janma we will understand when we start generating the Viveka Khyati. Viveka Khyati means the Khyati, the Gyan, which is clearly showing us that you are not this body. When this Viveka Khyati will get formed, this is the first stage of Samadhi, this Abhinivesh Klesh will slowly move away. We will not fear death anymore. And then the final stage of Samadhi, when a Jivan Mukta Purush is there, he will never fear death. He knows there is no death. He knows nobody dies. That's a complete knowing state. So this is a very beautiful sutra. I liked it so much. That's why I thought of making a small video. Thank you so much. Namaste. Om.